Kamijo Touma is notorious in the anime community for many things. His rotten luck, which doesn't seem to stop him from pulling a countless number of chicks. His ability, Imagine Breaker, which we all will probably have to wait another 20 years to get a full explanation on. And of course, his controversial antics of brutal gender equalization in the form of a right hook. Touma simply does not discriminate. But why is Touma okay with hitting members of the opposite sex? Can this truly be justified? Or is gender or sex truly irrelevant when it comes to the right fat hand of justice? If you're unfamiliar with him, Kamijo Touma is the main character of a certain magical index, and is described as a relatively normal high school boy. Yeah, that looks completely normal to me. I also remember when me and the boys would summon Yu-Gi-Oh monsters out our arms too. Despite being ranked the lowest type of students in Academy City, Touma does have a special power that truly does separate him from the norm, that being Imagine Breaker, which allows him to nullify any supernatural ability, whether it's an Esper power or magic, with just a touch from his right hand. But Imagine Breaker is also a seal for some crazy ass powers, which you can learn about here if you're curious. Now, Touma faces a wide variety of wacky enemies in the series, from 2 meter tall 14-year-old British chainsmokers to Odin from Norse mythology, given the fate treatment of gender swapping an established historical or legendary person because Japan. And of course, no mercy for lolly nuns either. Regardless of their gender, they will get the same treatment. It just so happens that some of Touma's enemies happen to be the opposite gender to him, with plans of wanting to destroy the current world order or bring harm to others, leading the Touman to become the hero we all love to stop them, which involves physical violence. I swear this dude was right, saying if Index became mainstream, this shit would be cancelled harder than Leafy for so many reasons. Index isn't exactly progressive by Western standards. Or is it? Touma is a hardcore proponent of gender equality. But what is gender equality? Gender equality, also known as sexual equality or equality of the sexes, is the state of equal ease of access to resources and opportunities, regardless of gender, including economic participation and decision-making, and the state of valuing different behaviors, aspirations, and needs equally, regardless of gender. In the context of Index, this core philosophy prompts Touma to seemingly ignore the gentleman's code of never laying a hand upon a woman, to treat the woman the same as he would a man in a fight, to decide the loser and the victor. The code was formed by society because women on average are naturally physically weaker than men, according to science apparently. Please don't cancel my ass. But hey, as the great Spike Spiegel once said, I sure do love a woman who can kick my ass. Now that's some Chad ass energy for real. But this rule doesn't really apply in the fantasy story like Index. Not because Index has a shit ton of waifus that could probably fold Touma instantly with their gains. I mean some sure, but it's mainly because physicality doesn't really matter as much when you have characters who can nuke the world instantly. And with Touma restricted to just his own human physicality, which admittedly acts inhuman at times, and his trusty right-hand gimmick, he is truly the underdog in a vast majority of his fights, meaning he has no other choice but to use violence against whoever is causing a threat. By the way, if you're a strong believer in gender equality, make sure you hit that subscribe button harder than Touma would hit a nun for even more epic Touma and Toaru videos. The thing is, it isn't like Touma enjoys punching crazy women in the face. Or maybe he does. Jokes aside, what I think Touma truly can't get enough of is lecturing the opponent to death by telling them how they aren't living their life correctly, which even puts Naruto's taught no Jitsu to shame. Even when I have a friend who's feeling down, I channel my inner Touma by writing a giant ass lecturing paragraph to make them feel better, which normally has the opposite effect, but it's the thought that counts, right? The point is that Touma would probably rather his opponent realise their mistakes and that their questionable actions aren't the right way to achieve their convoluted goal of restoring world peace. That way he doesn't have to resort to conflict. It would make things a lot easier and everyone could go home happy. but that would also make the fights in the series really fucking boring. Therefore, the punch to the face is a necessary evil. But since Touma is so preachy, which could be classed as mansplaining, he often rescues damsels in distress as a white knight in shining armor, and has collected a harem of girls in love with him that number in the thousands. Does Touma simply appeal to the chauvinistic male fantasy, or is he what incels would describe as a Sigma Alpha Gigachad, or whatever cringe terminology you want to use, male? Listen, I don't see Touma's heroism as problematic. Is he really different from classical heroes or modern superheroes that just want to save and help people in times of crisis? Is that really a bad thing? Critics would argue just because it happens to be damsels most of the time rather than dudes asking for help, therefore it's toxic masculinity. But who cares? Plus, it's not like all the girls in this series are useless, although Kanzaki does kind of get shafted and she was one of the few that could stand on her own. What's so bad about saving girls anyway? If your girlfriend, or you probably don't like 3D girls, I know, if your waifu just happens to be real, or I don't know, a random girl on the street is getting mugged in some generic superhero movie cliche, are you gonna be like, you're a strong, independent woman, so I miss the part where it's my problem? Because you don't want the cringe-inducing title of simp. Hell no. If anything, Touma reinforces why saving others in need is so important in a day and age where it's so easy to be a bystander and not give a damn. While intervening in a life and death situation may cost you your life, it's completely worth it, cause Touma taught me being a hero is what matters the most. Since living exactly like an anime character is the perfect usage of your time. And who knows, you might save enough women that they all fall in love with you and you amass a real life harem just like this guy. But that isn't what Touma truly wants. In the end, while the gender equality gimmick is a funny meme that even the team behind the anime is aware of, it isn't what Touma truly wants. Don't get me wrong, Touma definitely believes in equal rights. What I mean is, his goal isn't just to get a girlfriend, or a harem for that matter, or to punch as many crazy hoes with his iron fist of justice. Touma's goal is quite simple. He just wants to live a peaceful life. No, he's not like Kira. I have clear evidence to prove that Touma isn't the chauvinistic male as some might wish to portray him. Just think, what is Touma's job? Yes, I know he's a student that doesn't study, because he's always stopping world-ending threats and never gets a goddamn break, but he is also a house husband. Yep, Touma is in fact very progressive, as he pretty much has to supply a ravenous freeloading nun with whatever food his pennies can afford. Touma is completely husband or wife material. He represents all those hardworking mums out there who work their asses off 7 days a week for little in return from their greedy gremlins. That's right, respect to all the mothers watching this video. Therefore, because of Touma's modern role that defies the standards of nuclear traditional family roles, that's why he is so passionate about gender equality. I cracked the code, it all makes sense. Also, Kamachi, please give Touma a goddamn break already. Our boy has suffered enough. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content about Touman, click on these epic videos on screen right now and you won't be disappointed. And I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.